Hey, thanks for clicking on this. I mean that. And if you decide to subscribe, well, that'd be incredible. All right, let's get into it. I'm Darren Whitmore, 36 years old, father of 5 energetic, chaotic, wonderful little humans. I'm a high school teacher out in Austin, Texas. For most of my life, I truly believed that love could endure everything: routine, fatigue, even heartbreak. I didn't just think it, I lived it. But I was wrong. So very wrong. It happened on a Thursday in late September, the kind of day where the heat lingers on your skin like a second layer. I had just pulled into the pickup line at Walnut Hill Elementary. That was usually Sabrina's thing, my wife. She was the organized one, the planner, the woman who kept our family running like clockwork. Doctor's appointments, peanut allergies, soccer schedules, she had it all under control. But that day, nothing. No texts, no calls, silence. Then my phone buzzed. One notification, 7 words. "We're in Hawaii, take care of the kids." It landed like a wrecking ball to the chest. I froze, stared at the screen. It had to be a prank, right? But there was no punchline, no laughter. Just reality. Max, our eldest, slid into the back seat, glancing around. "Where's Mom?" I stiffened, then managed to stretch a smile across my face, tight, strained. She had something to do. "I'm handling pickup today." We drove home, quiet, heavy. That night, I tried calling her. Once, then again. Voicemail. I sat on our bed alone. Her coffee mug sat next to the lamp, still half full. A basket of laundry leaned against the dresser. 5 uniforms needed pressing for school in the morning. I didn't cry. Not then. I couldn't feel a thing. The following day, I started digging. I opened up the shared cloud account. She rarely used it, but I had set it up for us both. Synchronized devices, shared calendars, one password for everything. I combed through it all: photo uploads, saved searches, travel confirmations. And then I found it: a plane ticket, 2 names. Sabrina Whitmore, Jasper Knox, my closest friend, my best man, godfather to my kids, the guy who used to call me his brother. Now he was lying in a hotel bed in paradise with my wife. Meanwhile, I was braiding Chloe's hair, packing Emma's allergen-free snacks, helping Liam solve math problems, and trying not to fall apart. But I didn't yell, didn't rage. Something else took over, something colder, focused. That evening, after the kids were asleep, I sat at the kitchen table. The refrigerator cast a low, humming glow across the floor. I didn't eat, didn't even move. Just kept rereading that message. "We're in Hawaii, take care of the kids." She must have thought I'd crumble, that I'd break down and beg, that I'd fall apart. She didn't know me. I wasn't going to be the one falling to pieces in the dark. I was going to dismantle every illusion she built, quietly, precisely. The very next day, I met with Carla Brennan, a no-nonsense family attorney a buddy had recommended. Carla was sharp and direct. I laid everything out: the sudden disappearance, the message, the silence, the betrayal. She didn't hesitate. "She just handed you full custody," she said, "and likely more than that." But I didn't stop at legal help. I called my financial advisor. Calmly, strategically, I rerouted every account she'd walked away from. Mortgage, bills, groceries, school expenses. It was all under my name now. I made sure the records reflected that. I froze the joint accounts, canceled her cards. Any access she had through me, gone. This wasn't spite. It was clarity. She needed to understand what she'd done. Weeks passed. No word from her. Nothing from Jasper. Just me and the kids. I became everything: cook, tutor, nurse, chauffeur, and little by little things began to change. I stopped replaying the moment, stopped blaming myself, stopped hoping she'd call. I started building a life without her. The kids? They started to come back to themselves, too. Emma's sobs gave way to giggles. Chloe began drawing again. Even Max, who'd carried the deepest hurt, began to talk to me more. Then the inevitable happened. She called. It was a Tuesday morning. 5 missed calls, her name lighting up the screen like some phantom from the past. I ignored them. Then the texts came in. Where are my kids? Why are you ignoring me? I'm home. You're being ridiculous. We have to co-parent. You're damaging them. There it was. Not regret, not remorse, panic. Her dream had come to an end, and she expected to slip right back into reality. But this wasn't her home anymore. These weren't weekends to dip in and out of. On the sixth call, I answered. She looked sun-kissed, hair blonder. Her voice cracked. Where are the kids? She demanded. School, I said flatly. Like they've been every day for the past 5 weeks, while you were off with Jasper. She winced. You don't get to talk to me like that, she snapped. I'm still their mother. No, I said, tone like frost. You were their mother. Mothers don't vanish. They don't send a single text and disappear. Tears welled in her eyes. It wasn't like that. I needed space. I needed time. I leaned in slightly. Well, you got it, and I got everything else. I ended the call. That was the beginning of the end, for her, and just the start, for me. The next morning came with a pounding at the front door, loud, demanding, like she was entitled to some grand reunion. I opened it slowly, already knew who it was. Sabrina, hair styled but messy, giant sunglasses perched on her head. An expensive bag hung from her shoulder like armor, her eyes frantic. Where are they? She barked. No greeting. At school, I said simply. Exactly where they've been. She tried to walk in. I stood my ground. She stepped closer. I didn't move. This isn't your home anymore, I said calmly. That stopped her cold. What is wrong with you? She hissed. I was gone a few weeks and suddenly I'm a stranger? You are a stranger, I said. You left. No warning, no goodbye, not for a night, for over a month. I just needed time, she shouted, to think, to figure things out. No, I said, staring her down. You wanted to vanish with another man and you didn't ask permission. Her voice dropped to a whisper. You can't keep them from me. I already am, I replied. Then I handed her the envelope. Inside, legal filings, evidence, bank statements, travel documents, screenshots, pictures, every detail documented and undeniable. Her dream was finished. And mine, it was just beginning. Her legs draped lazily over the edge of a yacht deck, the ocean lapping gently beneath, while back at home, our kids had another dinner of cold cereal. She was gone. I scrolled through the images, each swipe stoking the fire in my chest. My hands trembled, not from grief, but from fury held in check. I didn't mean to be gone this long, she'd claimed. Jasper had promised it would be a short trip, but things spiraled. I raised an eyebrow, not buying it. Spiraled, or did he dump you? She didn't reply. But her silence told me more than words could. You chose him, I said evenly, but with an edge. And now that he's disappeared, you want to step back into the life you walked away from? Sabrina, when you set fire to the bridge, you can't expect it to still be standing when you turn around. Her mouth quivered. I messed up. No, I corrected. You made a choice. I shut the door. She collapsed against the other side of it, sobbing. I didn't reopen it. That evening, my attorney Carla rang. She filed for joint custody, Carla said with a wry laugh. Didn't realize we beat her to it. With everything we submitted, she doesn't stand a chance. The judge granted you temporary sole custody this morning. I exhaled. For the first time in weeks, my chest felt a little lighter. The very next day, the school called. Sabrina had shown up during the kids' lunch break, claiming it was a surprise visit. Security had to escort her off campus. Mac spotted her through the lunchroom window. He froze. At home that night, he didn't ask anything. He just hugged me tight and whispered, "Thanks for staying." I made dinner, mac and cheese with steamed broccoli, their favorite. And it hit me. I wasn't just surviving anymore, I was rebuilding. Meanwhile, Sabrina was just starting to unravel. Her fantasy life crumbled fast. By Friday, the court finalized the custody order. My name stood alone. Her visitation revoked. She'd have to pass a psychological assessment before even being considered for supervised visits. The judge cited willful abandonment. Apparently, the tropical escape raised every red flag. At the next hearing, she arrived looking like a cover model, navy blazer, stiff poise, makeup flawless. But the cracks were showing. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Her hands twitched. Her knees wobbled when she sat. Then the judge spoke. Her tone was cool, detached. "Miss Whitmore," she began, voice slicing through the courtroom air, "you left 5 children with their father for 35 consecutive days. No call, no warning, no explanation. That is not a retreat. That is not self-care. That is abandonment." Sabrina opened her mouth, but no sound followed. I didn't say anything. No smug looks, no celebration. Just quietly handed over our file. Timelines, receipts, flights, statements, photos, drawings signed, "Daddy is my hero." She had her getaway. I had the facts. But it wasn't over. That afternoon, I got an email from Jennifer Hayes, a mom from school. Attached were screenshots from the PTA chat. Sabrina had attempted to force her way onto school property again. This time, she was removed in full view of staff and parents. Someone posted the yacht photos, legs stretched out, mimosa in hand. Another showed Jasper kissing her shoulder. Captions like "Number Island Escape" and "Number I Checked Out" tagged beneath. Then the comments started. "She ditched her kids for that? She abandons them and thinks she can just show up? Well, hold on, isn't Jasper married?" That last one lit the fuse. The following night, a call came in from an unknown number. I ignored it. It rang again and again. Eventually, I answered. "Mr. Whitmore," said a composed voice. "My name is Lillian Knox. I'm Jasper's wife. We need to talk." Silence. "I found everything," she continued. "Hotel receipts, phone records, photos. He told me they were business trips. But then I saw her face. The captions..." Her voice wavered. "We have a 4-year-old." Another pause. "He didn't even tell us goodbye before flying off with her." My stomach clenched. "I'm filing for divorce," she said, her voice regaining strength. "And I'm naming your wife in the complaint. Alienation of affection is still legal here." Then, something I didn't expect. "If you need a witness for your custody hearing, I'm willing." My throat tightened. I gripped the phone. "You just became the most important person I've spoken to all year," I told her. She gave a dry chuckle. "Let's burn them both to the ground." That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, remembering all the lonely nights, the story times, the scraped knees, the teacher conferences, the tears I held back while raising 5 kids without knowing where she even was. She hadn't just left me. She'd walked away from us. Now she'd watch as the life she thought she could reclaim drifted further out of reach. 30 days passed, not even 2 months, but to her it must have felt like a lifetime. When she re-entered that courtroom, she was unrecognizable. Gone were the tailored suits and manicured control. In their place, a faded black dress that hung off her, hollow eyes, colorless cheeks, hair twisted up carelessly. And then she saw her, Lillian Knox, seated calmly beside Carla. Sabrina's face drained. She hadn't seen that coming. Judge Melanie Rivers, stoic, silver-haired, sharp, got straight to business. The evidence was damning. Then came the witness. Lillian stood, poised, collected. She handed over screenshots, hotel photos, video clips. Sabrina and Jasper laughing in robes on balcony terraces. A handwritten letter from Jasper begging her not to go public. Lillian's hands shook just slightly as she placed it on the table. But her voice? Unshakable. "I'm not here out of spite," she said, casting a glance at Sabrina, then turning to the judge. "I'm here because I know what it feels like to be left behind. I watched this woman help dismantle my family. And now I watch her trying to slide back into the lives of children she left willingly. I can't stay silent." Sabrina broke down. When she finally found her voice, it was thin, weak. "I didn't want to hurt anyone. I needed a break. I made bad choices." But Judge Rivers raised a hand. "You were not hospitalized. You did not seek counseling. You were not in crisis." She flipped a page in the file. "You were vacationing." She looked up. "And during all that time, not once did you check on your children. For 35 birthdays, mine, the kids, or their fathers, not once did you reach out. No text, no call, no video chat, not even when listed as an emergency contact." Sabrina's voice caught in her throat. "You were in Maui," the judge interrupted coldly. "Not in counseling, not seeking protection, enjoying a lavish resort stay. with someone else's husband. She turned her attention to me next. Mr. Whitmore, your conduct has been unwavering. You've been dependable, attentive, and incredibly thorough. The documentation is clear. Your character witness was strong, and your actions speak louder than any ruling I could make today. Then came the gavel's sharp crack. This court grants exclusive legal and physical custody to Mr. Darren Whitmore. As for Ms. Sabrina Whitmore, the judge continued without pause, her visitation privileges are hereby revoked, pending a mental health evaluation, successful completion of a certified parental fitness program, and a further court hearing at an undetermined date. There was a beat of silence, then a shaky inhale, Sabrina's. "No," she breathed, barely audible. "Please, wait," she begged, her voice fraying. "They're my babies. I never wanted this, never liked this." But that's exactly what it had come to. And in that courtroom, no one, no bailiff, no attorney, not even the judge, was willing to rewind the clock. I rose from my seat, straightened my jacket, walked out into the daylight of that morning, free. Later that night, my screen lit up, a message from her. "You destroyed me." I stared at the words for a long while. No reaction, no bitterness, just a quiet stillness. Then I typed back, "Number, you did that to yourself. Now, life is calmer." Chloe no longer panics when the doorbell rings. Emma's back at the piano bench. Liam no longer flinches at the word mom. And Max, sweet, quiet Max, put his arms around me last week and said, "Thanks for not walking away." This house feels like home again, not a battlefield. Sabrina lives with her mother now, 3 states over. Last update I heard, she's unemployed and still under mandatory therapy. At the same time, Lillian's pursuing a civil claim against her for emotional distress, alienation of affection. And Jasper, he disappeared. Lost his job, his reputation, his marriage, everything. Word is he's renting a tiny 1-bedroom somewhere in rural Kansas, dragging himself through the wreckage of his choices. But I'm not after vengeance. I don't need to see them fall. Because real triumph isn't loud. It doesn't scream or grandstand. It's quiet, steady. A deliberate decision to flourish in the exact place where someone tried to crush you. It's building something so complete, so anchored in peace, that even if they came crawling back with everything they owned, there'd be no space for them in it. And that's where this story ends. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. I'm grateful you've taken the time to listen. If this narrative touched you, you're welcome to explore the others on this channel. Until we meet again, dear friend.